Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey guys, it is Bama Mobs here, and it's going to be another great week in Alabama high school football. As always, we're focusing on Class 6A in the great state of Alabama. Before we get started, I want to get me a little something to drink here. Nothing like an ice cold Coca-Cola to wet your whistle. Man, that is good, especially after mowing the grass for 2 hours, or setting up some bricks in the backyard, putting up a patio, whatever you're doing. Yeah, don't forget a nice cold Coca-Cola. Man has to have food. Lay's barbecue potato chips. Yeah, these are awesome. I know it's a little bit sacrilegious. I mean, you're like, I know what you're saying out there. You're like, dude, I mean, you got Coca-Cola and you don't have Golden Flake? Hey, to each their own, man. I mean, I got stock in both companies, but I must say, though, the sweet heat with Golden Flake I may prefer. But anyway, moving on. I always have to have my fave in the morning, Quaker Oats. Nothing like Quaker Oats, man. Put some butter in that, about 10 teaspoons of sugar, and you are good to go in the morning. But moving on to business, today's video is titled, How to Beat or Really Slow Down Muscle Shoals Football. Where this video came from is this weekend, Muscle Shoals is traveling to Jasper, Alabama, to take on a team that may not have the same tools that Muscle Shoals has. May not have the same speed. I don't think size is going to be an issue. But as usual, speed, explosive plays, things that Muscle Shoals has been known for this year. I mean, Muscle Shoals just played the second-ranked team in the region last week, Athens, and beat them hands down. It was like 48-18 at one point. I think the final score is 56-42. Those of you that actually went to the game, correct me if I'm wrong, but I imagine Muscle Shoals just freely substituted, in the fourth quarter. And Muscle Shoals has done that to everybody. They beat Coleman, Athens, the other teams, not even close. Muscle Shoals does have a loss. They play Gadsden City, who apparently has similar talent to Muscle Shoals, and Gadsden City just barely beat them first game of the season. But anyway, guys, we're going to move into what my ideas are on forming a strategy, and not just Muscle Shoals, but any team that you're going to face where you're outmatched. I mean, you're just going to know. Coaches, you're going to watch the tape. You're going to talk to the other coach during the week. You know what the other guy has. I mean, you probably can talk about how you're going to handle that. If the game does get out of hand. Those are things that you want to talk about even before the game starts. Hot clocks, all that type of stuff. But, hey, I'm always a believer. I don't care what the records are. Each game is different. Each game is an opportunity to win. And you just have to have the right strategy. So I'm going to get into a few ideas here in just a minute, and we'll see you. This is what we're going to be talking about, is how to beat, which you may not be able to beat them, but you may be able to slow them down. So how to slow down Muscle Shoals football. Or as I said before, how are you going to beat any team that is superior to you, and they are. So moving on, as always, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, hit that notifications bell. So the first tenet here is you're going to have to shorten the game. When I was talking to my buddy yesterday, we started thinking about, where this is applicable. And, I came back to the basketball game. University of Alabama played Loyola Marymount back in the 1980s in NCAA playoffs. Loyola, man, they were scoring 90, 100 points a game. Everybody's like, Alabama's going to get blown out, et cetera, et cetera. So what happens? Wimp Sanderson, he goes full slow down offense, shortens the game. I think Alabama did still lose, but there was nowhere near 90 or 100 points that Marymount scored. So applying this to football, you have to think about several things. So how are you going to shorten the game? Well, the time between snaps, I looked this up, is 40 seconds. So in between plays, as soon as the referee says, play ball, you got 40 seconds. Now, if it's a administrative timeout where the referee called it to adjust things, then it's 25 seconds after ref gets things adjusted. Second one there, which I know seems crazy, don't pass, or at least don't pass initially. The goal here is to run game clock. You want to keep yourself in the game. Don't get blown out in the first quarter. And the only way to do that is to run the ball. And there's ways to run the ball effectively. I would stick with north-south, no sweeps, outside pitches. Their team speed is better. So you're definitely just going to lose yards on those plays. So I would just focus, power plays, things of that nature. Passing will come later in the game as it goes. So you see that 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So with 4 plays, if you run the clock all the way down to 1 second before you run a play, you're going to run off 2 minutes and 40 seconds. If you get three possessions per quarter, that's going to be 8 minutes of the whole quarter that you are going to have the ball. You might not make first downs, but at least that's time that the other team does not have the ball to score with. As you see there, 2 possessions goes down significantly. Now, if you only get 2 possessions, you're looking at 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Stretching that out to the game, look at that. In a 48-minute game, if you had 3 possessions per quarter and you burnt as much clock as you can, you're going to have the ball for 32 minutes. And again, if you only get 2 possessions, it falls dramatically. It's going to be like a 21-20. So again, the point here is, run north-south, run the game clock off. This is going to take, a lot of practice during the week. It's going to take a lot of coordination between the head coach and that quarterback. And I would not even do signals during the game. I would just be running plays in,